Hi there. Welcome back to our channel. And the type of cleanup I'm speaking of today is a bookkeeping cleanup. This type of cleanup consists of reviewing, correcting, organizing the data within your software. It's our job to make sure that all the data is up to date. Your bookkeeper, your accountant, your CPA, they may review some of these accounts that I'm going to review with you today, just to make sure that you, in fact, do need a cleanup. So let's review the accounts. Okay, so I have the sample company on the screen, and this sample company is what QuickBooks allows us to go into to test different features within its software. What I like to do first in evaluating if a client needs a cleanup or not is that I start with the chart of accounts. And what I do is that I scroll through just to see if there's any negative balances, just to see how many accounts the client has, to see what I need to work with. So, as you can see in the sample company, this sample client has about 92 accounts. One other thing I wanted to mention is that this is not real data. This is testing data. So this is not a real client. This is just a sole purpose for us to go in and to review the different features so that we can get familiarized with the different features of QuickBooks. We're going to go to their reports where most people, accountants, will go in and they would look at your profit and loss to see these various accounts. What they look for is they look for negatives, balances, they look for anything that looks out of the ordinary. So while that populate, let's just condition the report for, let's say, May, I'm sorry, September 2024. Let's condition the report. And let's just scroll down a little bit. Again, this is your profit and loss, and we could go through and look and see right here, uncategorized expense. That's something that they would look at to see, okay, there's need to be some categorization. Typically in a cleanup, this balance would be really large. We also would look at miscellaneous to see this may be in fact miscellaneous, but we want to, drill into this account to make sure that there is definitely transactions that are categorized to that correct account. We would go back to, that's just a couple of transactions that we would just drill into to see if they're correctly categorized. Let's go to the, sorry, the balance sheet. On the balance sheet is where I mentioned in a previous video where you would have your assets, your liabilities, your equity, things of that nature on this report. So when accountants or bookkeepers look at their balance sheet to see if you need a cleanup, they would look at this accounts receivable account. They would look at this inventory asset, the uncategorized asset. You see that there's a negative $200 there. They'll check any kind of fixed assets that you may have. They'll scroll down to see any kind of loans. And they're basically just doing this to see how much documentation they need to accept from the client, as well as any kind of accounts that they need to clear out. So if you look at the opening balance equity, there's a negative. When bookkeepers or accountants is cleaning up your books, open balance equity needs to be zero. For example, the inventory asset that can be negative. One reason for that could be that the client has bought, sold more inventory, and then QuickBooks didn't recognize it as a purchase going into the account. So that's one way to know that, hey, I may need a cleanup. And that's an easy fix. You just go in and record the purchases that the client has bought for their inventory. Let's see. They may also review the undeposited funds account right here, which you see there's a balance, and this is just a holding account. So if the client is using the correct workflows, this account should be zero. So those are basic accounts that, the bookkeeper or CPA would look for to just determine if you need a cleanup. And if you're a business owner and you think you may need a cleanup based on the accounts that we reviewed today, feel free to contact us. We're here to help. Thanks for watching. Be blessed.